Okay, so this is kind of what happens after you've been born. Um, People give you like this is what you eat for breakfast. This is where you go to church. These are the types of things you can study. Here's what we did and what we're always going to do. This is the time frame we practice this particular ritual. These are our traditions, and they're everywhere. We're covered in them. We're covered in all of the lines that everyone has made us follow based on what makes the particular experience in the moment easiest to handle when there's so many different energies moving around at the same time. This is the method that's been given so far, that families are given a map at birth, and then they follow that map. But what happens is we, on a map, have a start and a finish. And what I've come to find out is nobody's proven to me that there's any start or any finish yet. So, because there is no proof that this starting place or this finishing place really can be brought to the tactile field, the touchable space, I've decided that watching my own being expand, learn, and grow, practice more to learn more, to practice more to keep learning. Because of that, I started to kind of like move the lines of, like, I moved my own borders out. I was like, whoa, hang on a second here. I gotta get rid of Friday night date night. I gotta get rid of this pot roast on Sundays. I gotta get rid of these car shows and these craft shows, and I gotta get rid of a man means this, and I gotta get rid of a woman does that. I gotta get rid of politics are bad or good. I gotta get rid of this religion is right, that religion's not. I gotta let go of all of it. And then once I did, I sort of came out and I looked, and I was just kind of blown away by what had really taken place in my space. I wasn't upset by it. I just saw it. I saw it. It is human to the degree that it has existed so far. It is the method that we've chosen as a collective society. There's no one person that's doing any of this. There may be these sages that continue to perpetuate the forward or evolving or whatever you want to call it space for certain individuals that fall into that particular path. But it's still all interconnected. So it is one whole moving organism, and each individual person becomes then their own organic movement and becomes responsible for how they're going to participate in the collective. You can't get out of it. I mean, honestly, because they haven't really proven anything about this whole death thing too, like when the body disappears. They haven't proven any of that to me. You know, I go over to the light switch, I'm like, click, click, where does it come from? And my own child's father, who was an electrician, cannot tell you where electricity comes from. Energy always has been and cannot be destroyed. So because I sort of see myself as this energetic force, this sort of moving momentum in space, I also recognize that these lines were created by that same energetic force. And if I stopped touching them, if I stopped perpetuating them, if I stopped spinning the wheel of their existence and stopped adding to it by saying, yes, this is true, or no, this is false, if I just let it go, if I just didn't touch it at all, what would happen? Well, I ended up shaving my head about 2 years ago. And what I found out very quickly was that I was a lesbian, I was a Nazi, and I also, and I had cancer. And people responded to me that way. Either I was being cussed pointed at and sweared at. I was being sweared at. I remember one time it was in a gas station, and I came outside and you effing lesbian, blah blah blah, and sticking this up and I mean, like wicked words, and it was a posse of bitches too. So it wasn't like I was, you know, I mean, there was a if I had not been practiced, if I had not come to an understanding about humanity, in that situation, I would have felt those words. I would have felt, who are you to say this about me? All I did was shave my head. Or who are you to point these obtuse accusations when you haven't asked me one question about who I am? But because I also recognize my own self and my own responsibility, I knew that in that moment it was not the time for me to question it. But it became a question, even walking around downtown. Fucking Nazi, blah, blah, blah. Angry words. I don't like to repeat the angry words. Oh, I got a text message. Ding! And it's a picture. And I'm not interested. Oh, but it is pretty cute. Horton, here's a who. Oh, hey. Where was I? Oh, so in that moment, I kind of knew that the perception of another was being placed on me. They had an experience with lesbians, or an experience with cancer, or an experience with learning about this particular Nazi movement. And it created momentum force in their bodies to create one of these lines, one of these stories. They put it on. They said, okay, this is how I feel about lesbians. This is how I feel about Nazis. This is what people look like when they have cancer. And that's where I'm staying. People. The purpose, potentially, for why we're here is to let the stories go moment to moment. Every chance you get, just release it. Just let it go. The second the extra storyline that doesn't pertain to the absolute now, let it go. You know where you're going. You know your direction. You have your purpose. You have your intention. You know where you're going, and you know your direction. You got your purpose and you got your intention. That was kind of fly. Well, whatever. So just feel that in your heart. Feel your intention right inside your heart. Just pulse that intention right out there. Smile every day. Choose happiness as your mode of action. And when someone comes to you and says something like, you're a big pile of shit, stop. Just stop and ask yourself, am I a pile of shit? And look at you. And if you believe you're a pile of shit, then why are you upset with them? Why would you be mad at the person calling you a pile of shit when you yourself think you're a pile of shit? Or look at yourself and say, I'm not. And don't have any reason. There's a quote. Convinced myself, I seek not to convince. I really got to figure out who wrote that, because I've used it too many times and I can't believe I don't remember the author. But convinced myself, I seek not to convince. So when someone says you're a pile of shit, you look and you realize you're not. You look back at them and you say, thank you. Because you've just learned something about them. You've just learned where their thinking is. You've just learned what their thought processes are. However, if it is true, if you look in that mirror in the morning and you go, oh man, I'm just a big piece of shit, you might want to start thinking of a new way to create these lines. They're going to keep creating. You'll still keep collecting these lines. It's not like you just let go of the story and all of a sudden you don't have anything going on. It's a rotating story. It's a constant axially pushing, pulsing story. But they're individual, tiny, momentary little stories that happen tick, tick, here and there. And you choose them every day, and you choose them in every moment. And when you stand in front of that mirror, if you think you're a pile of poop, as a magnet, based on quantum physics, based on all of the shit that we know now about what the human body is in relationship to the planet itself, you'll collect more of it. More people will be pointing at you, and more people. Now, I mean, obviously we could hope that everybody would just stop pointing, but it doesn't seem like we're quite ready for that yet. So if you know this is something you can do, if you know you can just stop, find out if it's true or false about yourself. If it's true, get to work. Don't shoot the messenger. Just do the work, and then move on from there. Anyways, it looks like I have rambled on a little bit long this morning because I'm really eager to get this message out to you. And so let's just take it down, and we'll just take a breath. It's okay. We can do this. You're not alone. We are, in fact, one. moving collective organism, one neural netting, one active brain. We just got to figure out tiny bit by tiny bit in each moment. Just each moment. What can we do right now to seed the future that we all know we genuinely wish to have? We've already tried it outside. We've already tried the objective field making us happy, and it's not doing its fullest job. It's not bad. It's just not. It's not the full experience. There's this subjective inner world that we all live to, and that's all one collective thing as well. So we'll figure it out. I totally believe it. Anyways, all right, cool. Well, thanks a lot. Peace.